to the issue and go fix it. And I can't honestly say I've never worked on anything as hard in my life since that day we walked off the field in South Florida to make sure that we have the exact culture that I want, that we all want at Ohio State. And you're going to hear terms such as 4 to 6 and A to B. And 4 to 6 is the length of a play. And we want to teach our players to make sure there's no, it's absolutely non-negotiable that when the ball snaps, you're going as hard as you possibly can, even overcoming mistakes with great effort. And I don't believe we had that, certainly not the end of last year. And you're going to hear A to B. Everybody has assignments to do in football. The ability for you to put your foot in the ground and get to your spot as fast as you can. In my mind, being around some great football teams, which Ohio State has, I had the last 2 years up until the last 2 games, that's the common theme of everybody. You can overcome technique, you can overcome a bad call, you can overcome a mistake with great effort. What you can't overcome is lack of effort. So that's where we're at right now. So I appreciate you taking time to listen to us. It's an exciting time to be at Ohio State football. If you come out and watch us practice, you're going to see 4 to 6 and A to B. My good friend at the Philadelphia Eagles has been around. I had another couple of friends come out and watch us practice. And the common theme is when they leave that field, say that's an outstanding effort and guys going as hard as they can. What I'd like to do now is the best part of the day, get to meet some of our players. So what I'm going to do is the first guy I'm going to bring up is Coach Warner. If Coach Warner can come up, I'm going to let him say a few words maybe about the offense a little bit, offensive line, and then introduce some guys and have a few minutes with you. So our offensive line coach, assistant offense coordinator, Ed Warner.
Hello. It's great to be here. I want to just talk a minute about our offense, a few things that Coach maybe didn't bring up. But real quick, I know some of you are nervous about this. I've heard this going around. I heard it actually today. Late in the fall, a lot of people get nervous because there's a lot of loud, annoying Wolverines that just make you nervous, bother you. If you're worried about those guys, just move your family out to Pasadena for a month and you'll be fine. You'll never have to deal with them. All right, offensive line. Obviously, I coach that. We're trying to rebuild that offensive line. We lost some great players there. The starting point for that rebuilding job is Taylor Decker, who we moved over to left tackle. And Taylor will do a great job for us there, and he's getting comfortable on that left side and trying to take over a role of a leader that Jack Newhort held. Pat Elfline played well for us in the last couple of games of the season. The team up north game and the MSU game, he did a great job when he played, and we see great things out of him. And then we have some other faces in there that are going to have to step up and develop. We're working with some guys. Daryl Baldwin is right now the lead guy at the right tackle position. Daryl's doing a solid job learning that position and getting comfortable there. We moved Joel Hale over from the defensive side in the off-season, and Joel's playing some at left guard with Tony Underwood. Evan Lyles, a new face that redshirted last year. He and Billy Price were 2 guys we signed last year that redshirted from the state of Ohio. Billy's playing center, Evan Lyles playing guard. So we got some depth and just having to work those guys through, get them comfortable, get them confident, and I'm confident that when the time comes on August 30th that we play Navy, we'll have a solid group that'll perform there. The thing that's been exciting though is just we have some guys out. We don't have Braxton Miller, we don't have Jeff Hireman, we don't have Evan Spencer in the spring. So we have to ask other people to step up and do those jobs. So we're getting a chance to look at some other people, develop leaders, see who could be playmakers outside of those guys. We know those guys are playmakers for us, and Coach has already commented on the job that a lot of those guys are doing, and it's exciting to watch that growth and development. We have the same offensive staff intact, so our offensive staff is real comfortable, and we are all on the same page on how to progress our offense and diversify it. And like we said, we have to find alternative ways to move the football outside of just let the big boys go eat up front and hand the ball to Carlos Hyde and go. We're diversifying our offense, which is good for us, and again, experimenting with who could be playmakers outside of those guys that aren't with us in the spring. So with that being said, spring ball, we've got a week and a half to finish up here, and we've got a lot of things to accomplish, and it's going in a positive direction. But I want to bring up some offensive players. So the offensive players that are here, could you guys come on up front, please? heard they also lost some playbooks up north. The team up north, I heard that someone broke in and stole some playbooks, and I heard Brady was really upset because he hadn't finished coloring them. Come on up here, you guys have a seat. Please don't put that on Twitter. I know we got such, just for the brevity of the moment. All right, so looks like we got 3 offensive linemen and our rookie, Johnny. All right, well, we'll start with Joel Hale. So Joel's moved over from the defensive side, and the great thing about Joel, he is a high energy, he is our culture. 4 to 6, A to B, everything you want in a player in terms of attitude, effort, and commitment. So I want Joel to just give you a quick synopsis of what it's been like for him, this transition from the defensive line to the offensive line.
How's everybody doing? The transition's been great. Towards the end of the season, I felt that I had plateaued on the other side of the ball, and I feel that the move has really energized my love for football, and I'm beginning to learn new things, and learning the offense is great. I met a new group of guys that I knew, but I really didn't know them personally, and it's just really expanded my love for this team and the love for the Buckeyes.
So if you come out to practice at the spring game, you'll see Joel there playing left guard, and he goes hard now. So we just have to clean up some of his technique, and as he gets more comfortable with his assignments, he's going to help us this fall. Next, I want to go to Daryl Baldwin. Daryl's from Solon, Ohio, and transitioned a couple years ago from the D-line over to the O-line. So here's another transition guy. Daryl's right now at the lead spot at right tackle as we move Taylor over to left. So Daryl, just tell us, what's the biggest challenge we face on the offensive line as we transition with 4 new starters, you being one of them possibly?
I'd just say the biggest challenge right now we face on the offensive line is leadership, because those guys that just left, Jack Mewhort, Corey Lindsley, they're not only leaders on the offensive line, leaders on the whole team. So we have to find people to replace that, and just starting to play, because most of the guys replacing them don't have very much experience. So once we get that going, we'll be all right.
Thanks, Daryl. All right, we'll go to Johnny Dixon, like Coach said, from South Florida. Exciting to have him out there every day. He can run, plays so hard, and fits right into our culture. So Johnny, what's been your biggest adjustment? I mean, moving to Columbus, Ohio, Ohio State football, just kind of tell us about your transition.
Well, my transition was the weather. I mean, down in South Florida, it's pretty hot every day. So when I got up here, I got off the plane, Coach Smith, the first thing he said, "How you doing with the weather?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's cold." But I got adjusted to it very quick, so it's not a big habit. I mean, it's not a big deal for me now. I mean, a lot of people complain about it, but it's not even that bad.
So how is learning the new offensive system, and are you enjoying being out there every day playing with your new teammates?
Well, adjusting to the offense was a little rough for me. It still is, but Coach helped me out a lot. Getting adjusted quicker than I was in the beginning. And playing with the new guys it's wonderful. I mean, going against the defense and playing with the offense is just another brotherhood for me, and some guys that I'll be able to bond with long down the road. So it's all great.
Thanks. One of the things about Johnny, because our culture is 4 to 6, as Coach said, A to B. Now this guy can go A to B. He got some wheels, so when he starts and where we tell him to go, sometimes it's not always where we want him to go, but he's going really fast there. So I know it's been a cold spring, but when you play with your hair on fire, it keeps you a little bit warmer. So he's doing that for us. And then last we have up here, the one returning starter we have on the offensive line, Taylor Decker. The good news is all the rest of the offensive players are in class right now, so you should feel good about that. These are the only 4 that weren't in class right now that we could get up here. So Taylor, I want Taylor to talk about his role as a leader of this offense and how he's trying to help develop some continuity, some power of the unit, as we call it, within the room of the offensive line, and his transition over to left tackle. So Taylor Decker's from Vandalia, which is over by Dayton, so another Ohio guy.
Thanks, Coach. Yeah, definitely with last year, as most of you know, I was the young guy, and it's definitely been a transition to being the veteran, essentially. And for me, personally, I had to develop a lot of consistency and use my voice out there on the field. Because, you know, these guys are used to Jack out there, Corey out there, leading them, showing them the way, and that was definitely different for me coming into this spring. But I feel definitely with the off-season training and everything, and Coach Mick and the coaches behind me, I'm beginning to develop that. But I still definitely have a long way to go because, as Daryl touched on, you know, we need leaders. We lost a lot of our important leaders, so I'm just trying to step up and fill that role.
All right, thanks, Dale.